at the moment hand you over to Dr. Gifty Roxen and Madam Anna Mensah to take over. So you are all welcome to today's session. At the moment, please hand you over to
Okay, thank you so much, David, for ushering us in. Ladies and gents, it's a pleasure to meet you once again. It's me, Gifty, here with my colleague, Anna Mensah. We are the safeguarding focal officers and points. Yes? Can you hear
David, I believe yes.
Yes, Doc, we can hear you.
Anne's first time. So we have to introduce Anna Mensah before we can start.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Yes.
Well,
Okay. So right. Sorry for that. Okay, so a quick introduction of our co-presenter, Madam Anna Mensah. Madam Anna Mensah thrives in building and maintaining sustainable relationship with educational partners with a background in public relations and a strong understanding of the importance of effective communication. Anna is dedicated to help achieve set goals through strategic partnership. Anna's academic background is in economics and statistics and public relations. She leverages on these to engage with the various stakeholders. She works with. Anna believes that there is much being done in education that needs to be communicated intentionally to all stakeholders to help them better appreciate and support initiatives that builds future-ready learners. So, wonderful aspirant advocate, I want to especially welcome Madam Anna Mensah, who is going to be the co-host for today's session. Let's give it up for her with a virtual clap.
Oh, I'm actually clapping.
Hi, Madam Anna. Beautiful face there. Right.
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. And I hope today we are all going to learn. So I'm not going to teach, neither is Gifty. We are all going to learn and then share our knowledge on safeguarding, actors, and then representation.
All right, Madam Anna, thank you very much. So, Doc, Dr. Gifty Roxen and Madam Anna, please, you have the floor. Thank you very much.
All right, David. Anna is fine, okay? The madam feels too old, so Anna is okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I would say good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are, and Eid Mubarak to our Muslim brothers. As I mentioned earlier, we are all going to learn something on safeguarding, ethics, and representation. And I'll urge everyone to actively participate in today's activities as we learn. So for our agenda, we would understand what safeguarding is. Then we look at abuse and harm, after which we look at the processes or how we are able to report issues pertaining to safeguarding. Then we briefly look at ethics and representing ADO, after which we'll have a time to answer all your questions. Please, am I audible enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Now, when we hear safeguarding or someone says safeguarding, I would like to know what comes to mind. And we'll do this through a short exercise on Slido. So if you can scan the QR code or you log on to slido.com, you put in the passcode or the code 3959 and tell us what you understand or what comes to mind when you hear safeguarding. Raphael, are you there? Omotola and Omobola, please, I'm waiting for your responses. And Dorcas, please, let's hear from you. Please, have you been able to log on to Slido? If we are having any challenge, kindly let us know. Please, has anyone been able to log on to slido.com?
Madam Anna, I have, but if you don't mind, can we also use the chat room probably? What do you think?
Yes, we can use the chat.
Right, sure, fantastic.
So please, if you are not able to log on to Slido, kindly type in your response in the chat.
Please activate the chat for the fellows, please. Activate that for.
Yes, please, I have.
Dear cohort members, please, I'm waiting to hear from you. I see, is it Tofunmi's hands up? Please unmute yourself and tell us what you're thinking when you hear safeguarding. Seth, please, can you help
Okay, I was actually,
Tofunmi?
yeah,
Okay,
good
please go
evening,
ahead.
good evening, everybody. Yeah, first, I was using my hand because I was having difficulty with the chat. It wasn't coming up. So for
Okay.
me, I would say, safeguarding, like, it's just like a strategy like you put in place to be safe from a particular um thing that you feel afraid of or you feel anxiety towards it. So it's just a strategy or a mechanism of protection to be protected from something.
Okay, great. That's awesome. I see here from Dorcas, she says safeguarding means protecting the vulnerable in our midst. All right, that's good too. Any other, please? Okay, Omotola says she can't hear us. Sorry about that, but we hope your network gets better so that you can work along with us today. Please, any other thoughts on what safeguarding means, please, before we move on? One or two more, please. All right. Let's move to see the definition for safeguard. Okay, so I see Omobola's hand up. Omobola, please unmute yourself and tell us what you think when you hear about safeguarding. Omobola, please, you can speak.
Okay, can you hear me? Good evening, everyone.
Yes, we can hear you. Good evening.
Okay. Yes, good evening. Yes, for me, I said I see safeguarding as the proactive process of protecting individuals, particularly
Great.
children,
Proactive.
and vulnerable.
Okay, I like the word proactive. All right.
Okay.
Let's see the definition of safeguarding. Good. Safeguarding is defined as the accumulation of internal processes, procedures, and practices through which an organization is able to prevent, report, and respond to intentional or unintentional harm caused to a child and adult beneficiaries by an organization's staff, affiliates, and activities. In simple terms, what it means is that you put in proactive measures. That's why I said I like the word proactive. You put in measures to avert harm from anyone who comes into contact in this situation with ADO. Please, is that okay? All right. Now let's move on to see how ADO defines safeguarding. For ADO, safeguarding is its responsibility to protect its program's participants from harm, abuse, exploitations perpetrated by ADO staff or during the implementation of ADO's programs and activities. So in our roles as advocates, ADO's focus is that you are protected, one, and those that we are going to engage, especially children and vulnerable adults, are also protected during any of our programs or activities. Are we okay? All right, now someone will say, why do we even need safeguarding? Is it even necessary? For ADO, safeguarding is very crucial for funding. As an organization, we do most of our work with the support of donors and funders. So if we don't put the necessary measures in place to avert and risk or harm caused to people, it doesn't make ADO attractive enough for funders or donors to give to support our works. And there are some of these donors who are very particular of policies about safeguarding. They want to be sure that you have things in place to protect the people you work with. So it's critical for our funding. Furthermore, for accountability and trust purposes, I am sure we all joined this advocates program because we saw the brand and we felt we could trust ADO. There are numerous organizations out there who are involved in dyslexia. Why did you choose ADO? Because you thought, I can trust ADO. I have seen what they have done. They are people who are accountable. If they say they will do this, they make sure they do it. So safeguarding is crucial both for participants, for our stakeholders, and then our donors as well, who are all part of the stakeholders. In addition to accountability and trust, safeguarding helps us improve the quality of our programs as we go on. A typical example is last year, we had a couple of programs. What are some learnings from it to help us improve subsequent ones? Through safeguarding policies and measures put in place, ADO is able to tell that ABC items on our programs didn't go well. Then we'll find measures to improve them for other programs we would do to make sure that anyone who comes in contact with us is protected and gets the best of our programs. And then finally, it upholds human rights. So as humans, ADO tries its best to protect our rights from being violated, either by members who are directly linked to the organization or people who might be outside the organization. Any question at this point, please? Okay, can I get a thumbs up to see if we are all on track, we are all on the same page before we move on? Okay, I see that from Dorcas, David, Shakira. All right, let's continue. Good. Now, we would want to understand what abuse is. By definition, abuse is an act or failure to act on the part of a parent, a caregiver or a caretaker, or a responsible adult, which results in the death, serious physical harm, emotional harm, sexual abuse, or exploitation. In simple terms, what it means is if you have someone you are taking care of or someone you are responsible for, and by any act or inaction of yours, it puts the person in harm, it's termed as abuse. So it might be intentional or unintentional. Are we good? Okay, now let's try to define or understand who a child is. So we are going to go back to the charts, and then everyone tells me what comes to mind. If you hear a child, I know we hear, oh, this person is a child or he is a child. What is the actual definition of a child? So please, let me hear your responses in the chats. Please, can anyone tell us who a child is? I know some of us are quickly logging on to Google to find out who a child is. But just give me your basic understanding. Don't define it for me. Who do you think a child is?
Hello.
Yes, please go ahead. Omobola, please go ahead.
Yeah, Joe. Go down.
Hello.
Yes, Omobola, we can hear you.
Yes, I think a child describes who someone's daughter or son is.
Okay, great. Someone's daughter or son.
Yes.
Nameti, I hope I pronounced the name right, says a little human being. Wow, that's cute. Any other thoughts on who a child is? All right, Dorcas says a child is a person between the ages of 0 to 17. Great. Please, let's share more thoughts on who we think a child is. Last two, and then we look at the definition of who a child is. Should I mention names? Please, last two responses, and then we look at how we define a child. Okay, so Shakira says a child is a young person that is still within immaturity, undergoing physical, emotional, and psychological training for proper transitioning into, I guess, it's adulthood. Jonah says an immature human being. Awesome. Those are great responses. Now let's look at the definition of who a child is. Okay. Tofunmi says a child is a little human. Yes, that's interesting. Now let's look at the definition of who a child is. So a child is any individual below the age of 18. So it agrees with what Dorcas said. If you are 17 years old and even 11 months, you are still a child. So far as you are below 18 years, you are considered a child. Now, we would like to put a child and abuse together and try to understand what child abuse is. With child abuse, it refers to all forms of physical and emotional ill treatment, sexual abuse, neglect, and exploitation that results in actual or potential harm to a child's health, development, and dignity. So child abuse takes various forms. It can be physical, it can be emotional, it can be a sexual abuse. It could be you neglecting the child or you exploiting the child. Are we okay at this point? Can I see your thumbs up, please, so that I know we are all on the same page? Okay, Doctor says we're all on the same page. All right, so now let's continue. We are at least a fair idea of who a child is and then what child abuse is. Now let's try and understand the various forms of child abuse. We have a physical abuse, which is mostly done by hitting, by kicking someone or throwing something at the person, poisoning, and suffocation. Do we have any idea on how physical abuse is? Just anything outside of what I've mentioned? Please, does anyone have anything outside of what I've mentioned about the forms of physical, about physical abuse, sorry.
Yeah,
All right,
maybe
now
I think about physical abuse in a form of the concept of neglect that you say.
okay,
So when you neglect children, like deny them of physical touch, because it's something they need to grow, maybe hugs and all those things. I think that
okay,
in the sense of neglect, I feel it could be a form of abuse when you don't hug them and then, you know, give them that feeling of safety.
yes, so that is a form of abuse. Shakira says infliction of wound, yes. So that's on the physical aspect. Now let's see what sexual abuse is. With sexual abuse, it's a physical force, coercion, or intimidation to force unwanted sexual act upon another person. And it mostly takes the form of rape, which is very popular. So that is an example of a sexual abuse. And as our brother said, the next form of abuse is neglect. And this can be physical or emotional. So as he gave an example, maybe a child that you live with, sometimes they need just a hug to comfort them. Or maybe an adult, they just need you to listen to them. But if you neglect them, which could be maybe physical needs, emotional needs, it's also a form of abuse. Then it brings us to emotional abuse. And that has to do with humiliating the person. It could be through verbal and non-verbal words, actions. So we grew up and some people would say, you fool, oh, forgive my language, you fool, oh. You might just say it on the lighter note, but the one receiving the word could take it deeper and would affect his or her emotions. That is why they say words are powerful. So we should be mindful of what we say to people and sometimes how we treat them. There are times that we give people silent treatment and it affects their emotional health as well. Then we have exploitation as a form of abuse. In this instance, we have someone in authority or in power using their position or their time to get something from the victim. So with exploitation, there is mostly an exchange. An example would be, say, Dr. Gifty telling Anna that, oh, Anna, you know I'm so close to Lady Rosa. So if you don't do this for me, I won't let her promote you. It means in this case, Dr. Gifty is trying to exploit Anna. I hope that is clear. Now we look at online abuse, which is happening recently to a lot of us and to a lot of young people. Online, people are manipulated, people are harassed, people are abused online just because of some content they put online, or they share via the various social media platforms, and it really harms them. Are we okay with the various forms of abuse? Is there any other that you can think of and share with us? Okay, so with the thumbs up I'm seeing, it means that we are all on the same page, and then we can move on. Great. Now, for this section, I want to hear everyone speak or share a message. How do we identify the various forms of abuse? We will start with physical abuse. How are we able to tell that this person has been physically abused? Please, let's share. You can unmute yourself and tell us, or you can share in the chats what indicators show that a person has been physically abused. Oh, my people, let me see you. I want to hear from you. What are some of the indicators that will show that this person has been physically abused? All right, so I see your mobilized hand up. Please tell us, what are some of the indicators?
Yes, for instance, they can see bruises on the person, on the child's body, on the individual's body, bruises, marks
Great.
on the body.
Yes.
That's
Yes,
one of
that's
the things
very
for
true.
physical.
That's very true. Tofunmi, please, what else can we see as indicators of physical abuse?
Okay, so bruises one, yes. Also, when you just want to touch the child and the child fidgets, like subconsciously fidgets, and you know that, oh, this child has been receiving a lot of beating, and it's just like natural reaction from fear from being beaten type star number. And that's another one.
Another one, that's true. Dorcas says intense fear. Okay, so the victim would show intense fear. Any other, please? Shakira, I want to hear from you. Joan, I want to hear from you. What are some of the indicators of physical abuse? Okay, Shakira says there is a notice of fear and withdrawal. Okay, that's good. Jonah, let's hear from you so that we can move on. All right, now let's look at other indicators for physical. Okay, Jonah says fear and fright. Awesome. Let's look at some other indicators for physical abuse. So as was shared by our colleagues, you see the physical bruises or cuts on the person's skin, the face, the back, you will see that. Some of them would show withdrawals. Others would panic when they see the person perpetrating that incident. Now, we'd like to move on to emotional abuse. How do we tell that this person has been abused emotionally? So please, let's go back to our chats, or you can raise your hand and mute, and then you share some of the indicators for emotional abuse. Okay, so Jonah says there's loss of trust and self-esteem. Great, great, that's good. Any other, please? Tofunmi, yes, please unmute and share your thoughts.
Okay, absent-minded.
Okay, sometimes they
Person
are
could be absent.
absent-minded. Great. Any other, please? Any other indicators for emotional abuse? Okay, Docker says the victim becomes distrustful, aggressive, and antisocial. Awesome. Yes, so with people who might have been abused emotionally, most of the time they show a lot of anxiety, they withdraw from society, or someone who might be lively and bubbly, and all of a sudden the person is withdrawn. They don't want to get involved anymore. They don't want to do things that they used to do before. Are all signs that no, this person might have been abused emotionally. Let's look at the third one, sexual abuse. How do we tell that this person has been abused sexually? What are some of the signs that shows? Tofunmi, I see your hand up. Do you want to share something?
Sorry, my hand was actually still up. I actually don't
Oh,
really
okay.
have an idea right
Okay.
now for sexual abuse.
All right.
Thank
Please, anyone to share with us some signs that shows that a person has been sexually abused? Okay, Douglas says they show or they act strangely around the opposite sex. Great. Shakira, I see your hand up. Please
Yes.
unmute and share with us.
All right. I think I'm audible enough.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. A sexually abused victim is always based on an experience I had with one of my past students. We realized there were three things I noticed that made us to realize that she was undergoing that very abuse. One, she was always lost in thoughts. Secondly, we find she's always not most times they have any opportunity, they falling in deep sleep. That's another thing that I've noticed. That they are normally lost in thoughts. And another thing again is they always fidget at the side of the opposite sex, but not majorly all, but I think they are normally traumatized with that very experience they have for them to always not feeling comfortable with that very opposite sex. It could even be in the midst of same sex because
Okay.
some people could also be abused by by the same gender as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you for sharing, Shakira. Omobola, please share with us your thoughts on some indicators for sexual abuse.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you, ma'am.
Yes. For me, there will be a change in the child's behavior. There will be a change
Okay,
in the
so that
child's
is when a
behavior.
child has been
Like
abused.
yes, maybe when like in withdrawal, aggression. The child becomes aggressive, especially when the opposite sex is seen, and then fearfulness too. Fearfulness is part of it too.
All right.
That's
Thank you
how I
so
should
much,
say.
Omobola. Tofunmi, I see your hand up.
All right. So yeah, for child gets or an adult, once somebody is already abused sexually, gets angry easily. And then when discussion concerning um sexual knowledge is being discussed, the child or gets afraid somehow. There's this discomfort having to and fear of maybe being threatened. It's to not let the child to be comfortable to be able to speak about that. So fear, anger, they get angry easily at opposite sex. So anger most of the time and withdrawal.
That's good. Jonah in the chat says loss or excessive drive in having sex. You guys have given us all the indicators when it comes to sexual abuse. In fact, I want to clap for you. Well done, well done, well done. Now let's look at neglect. If someone has been neglected, how does this show on the person? How do we tell that maybe Anna has been neglected? What are some of the things that shows on someone who has been neglected? Please, I'm coming right back to you, or let's share our thoughts. You can raise your hand or you your thoughts in the chat. Okay, I see two people's hand up. Tofunmi, yes, please go.
All right, thank you, Ma. So for a child that is neglected, and for a person that you are compassionate, and you exhibit that empathy or friendliness towards the child, or you embrace the child feels emotional, feels strange for such um welcoming. Like you can either tell from the child having to feel saddened, feel very close, clingy to you, and you know that this child somehow has not received the love that is expected of the child. Once the child is able to receive that from you, you begin to see that the child gets more attracted to you. Each time you're around the child or you call the child like responds faster. So then you can notice that this child literally lacks all the love that the child needs from guidance.
Okay,
Thank
that's
you.
good. Omobola, do you have anything to add to that before I go to the chat? Okay, let's go to the chat. Dorcas says, for neglect, there is lack of adequate care and sometimes there's malnourishment. Oyeronke, I hope I pronounced that right. It says, from their appearance and dressing, you know that a child or someone has been neglected. Also, they show signs of withdrawal and avoidance of people, and they want to cling to people due to the lack of it. Awesome. So with people who have been, okay, another one just dropped in from Shakira. She says, a neglected child gets disorderly in actions and words. The child expresses all forms of actions to get attention. He or she becomes disinterested in people. They develop cold shoulders when no attention is gained. Awesome. So with people who have been neglected, they show all these signs. They'll let you know that I need that attention. Or you will see in their physical appearance, someone who used to be neatly dressed, well-groomed, all of a sudden, the hair is unkempt, their clothes are unclean, their nails or their toenails, their fingernails or toenails are not kept well. Sometimes you might see them and maybe, excuse me, today they haven't even brushed their teeth, and you know that this is very unusual of this person. It tells you there could be an incidence of neglect. Now, let's look at the last point on exploitation. If someone has been exploited, following my explanation, how would we see that this person has been exploited? Please, I'm waiting to hear from you. You could share in the chat or you can raise your hand, unmute, and then share your thoughts on how we can see that a person is being exploited. Okay, Omobola, I see your hand up. Please share your thoughts.
Yeah, my taking for exploitation is like taking an unfair advantage of someone or something for your own personal benefits, and often it's by using power or trust.
Okay, so let's say Anna is being exploited. How do you tell? Or how are you able to see that Anna is being exploited? How do you identify that?
Sorry, okay, yes, like the person being unfair to the person. Using your own
Okay.
personal, yes, being unfair to that person or someone for your own
All
personal
right.
benefits. Yes, but being unfair to the person. You know that this person didn't do it, but you just want to take side with others. That's okay, fine. The person, you're just exploiting that person.
Okay. Thank you so much, Omobola. I'll quickly go into the chat. Doka says people who have been exploited or are being exploited will show low self-esteem and would always seek validation. Oyeronke says that many times they want to fight for people against exploitation. They don't want anyone around them to be exploited. So in simple terms, they try to prevent other people from going through what they have been through. Doka says again that the victim can in turn be a bully. Okay. Shakira says they are overly self-conscious. Yes. So when you are all right, and I'm really happy with your responses, when people are exploited, most of the times they might rebel, or as you said, they might directly or indirectly disclose to people they can trust or confide in that this is what I'm going through. Or sometimes it could be that they would exhibit self-destructive behaviors. Some of them might depend on drugs just to keep them in a sane position. Sorry, some of them might try to commit suicide. They might self-harm and do other things just to show that there is something going on, something is being done to them. Great. Thank you all for your responses. Now we would like to move on to see how we are able to report incidences that has to do, sorry. Dr. Gifty, are we good? Now, we would like to look at how we are able to keep children safe. As advocates, most of our work will be done with children. How do we keep these children safe during the time that we are working with them? The first thing we should all note is that we must do everything in the interest of the child or the children we are working with, knowing that we are there because of them. So please, yes, we know that we want to have the certifications and the acknowledgements that we are advocates for ADO, but everything we do on the ground should be in the interest of these young ones. Secondly, we are not to do anything that will jeopardize the life of these children or their survival and development. So anything we do, we should bear that in mind, that it shouldn't jeopardize these children. The next thing is that we shouldn't discriminate, no matter the backgrounds of the children or the people we'll be working with. Some of them might be good, some of them might be our favorites, but we should try and treat each one of them equally. Then lastly, we should involve every child in the activities that we do. Yes, there will be times that you have very high participants or people who are actively involved. You ask a question, their hands are up, they are answering and all. You could also have those who are very quiet, reserved, and they are just observing. Don't say because they are not active in your sessions, you are going to leave them out. Let's rally everyone together, get them involved, and move with everyone together in our sessions as advocates. Any question at this point, please? Can we go on? Okay. Now we've looked at how we can keep these children safe in our sessions. Then someone would ask, yes, we will not be dealing with children alone. There might be adults engaged somehow. So we would say, who is an adult at risk? By definition, an adult who requires protection or needs protection by reason of factors that may make them vulnerable. And some of these factors include their age, an illness that they might be experiencing, any mental challenge or physical disability, or adults who live in economic dependence. Maybe they depend on someone just for their survival, or they might be in a conflict environment, or in a cultural constraint that puts them at risk. So simply put, an adult at risk is someone who, because of one or two incidences, they cannot function as they should have. Are we good? Any question? All right. Now let's move on quickly. We are going to have a brief exercise on understanding who is most at risk or vulnerable when it comes to ADO and the work we do. So who can tell me, with the people we work with, so it includes you, myself, and everyone from the top to the bottom, who do you think is most at risk when it comes to the people ADO works with? Please, you can raise your hand or share your thoughts in the chat. Should I mention names? Did everyone run away and leave me here? Okay, so Tofunmi says the learners, awesome. Doka says the dyslexics. Okay, that's good. Now let's look at our people who are most at risk or vulnerable when it comes to working with ADU. It mostly has to do with you and I. So any volunteer, any intern, any junior staff, we are all at risk with the work that we do. Then with our events and activities or projects, who is at risk or who is vulnerable? With that, there are children or other participants, people with disabilities, and then young people. All these people during our project or events are also at risk. In our communication, that is anything that ADO is sharing to the outside world, who is at risk or who is vulnerable? Mostly it has to do with stories that involve the vulnerable groups. So for instance, people with disabilities, sharing images of them. Sometimes it's depending on how the content is created or communicated, it stigmatizes or dehumans them. So someone will say, oh, this person is blind. Sometimes, yes, that is the reality, that's the truth, but how you put it puts them more at risk. So you could say that they are, let's say, physically challenged or something in a more appropriate way, not to stigmatize their situation. Then with our online activities, who are the people who could be at risk? They include children, young people, people with disabilities, people who have limited education, or they have low technical know-how. To explain this further, let's say we are organizing an online event and we have people join who might not be so tech savvy. This person will turn on their cameras, forgetting the environment they are in, and for the 1,000 people who are on the session, will see whatever drama might be going on in the person's house or room. This shows that this person might not be so tech savvy and has opened him or herself to this. So these are some examples of people who might be at risk or might be vulnerable in their engagement with ADO. Any questions, please? Okay, Now we move on to the next part of our learnings for today. Good. We want to do a short exercise. We'll go into our chat just in case we are not able to log on to slido.com. We want to know, which group do you think is the most at risk in safeguarding scenarios? I'll take it again. We want to know from everyone here, which group do you think is the most at risk when it comes to safeguarding scenarios? So please share your responses in the chat, or you can raise your hand and unmute to share your thoughts. Dear participants, please share your thoughts so that we can move on to the next sessions. Okay, Tofunmi says children with disabilities. Okay, that's great. Any other, please? Please, any other idea on the group of people who we think might be the most at risk in safeguarding scenarios? Omobola says children with disabilities too. Great. Any other, please? Okay, so yes, children in general would be at risk, and also children with disabilities would be at risk as well. So yes, we are right with that. Now we'd like to understand sexual misconduct in the workplace. The first one we are going to look at for sexual misconduct in the workplace is sexual abuse. So from our previous slide, we understood that sexual abuse is mostly, it happens, the act happens. The victim, and a typical example I gave was rape. The victim is actually forced or threatened to do the act. So in the workplace, probably your colleague, or might be your boss, or in ADO's case, it could be any of us or any of our funders forcing you into such a situation, and it's a misconduct in the workplace. Then we have bullying. With bullying, it could be insulting words, it could be malicious acts, it could be offensive words, or it could be inactions. It could offend the victim in this situation, and it will possibly cause harm to the person as well. Then we look at sexual exploitation. With sexual exploitation, someone in position, as I gave the Gifty and Anna example, maybe Gifty is my boss and she will say, Anna, I need you to do this, send this email or do this act in exchange for an upgrade in your role or an upgrade in your salary or something. So with sexual exploitation, there is an exchange between the victim and then the perpetrator. Then for sexual harassment, it could be a verbal, physical conduct, or a gesture of a sexual nature being done to the victim. However, in the case of sexual harassment, the victim does not like the act and does not condone to it. For instance, you're in an office and maybe Shegun says, oh, Anna, you're looking sweet, you're looking sexy. Some of the comments makes you very uncomfortable and you let them know you don't like it. Or they could touch a part of your body that you're not happy with. So that is an example of sexual harassment. Then the last one for sexual misconduct in the workplace has to do with intimidation. Similar to exploitation, a person in position would require the victim or use their role to make you feel unappreciated or would make you feel less of a person, try to humiliate you so that you kind of feel afraid to sometimes even go to work or speak up about situations in the workplace. Any question at this point? Great. Now we want to look at, we've understood safeguarding, we've understood some sexual misconduct in the workplace. When it happens, how do we report them? How do we make people in authority know that this has happened so that they can take action? For ADO, the first reporting mechanism is through the safeguarding focal points, and that has to do with Gifty and myself. Please feel free to reach out to any of us to report an incident of safeguarding in your work. It could be you, it could be the beneficiaries. Please let us know if something happens. Also, you could use the email address, which is privacy@africadyslexia.org. Send us a tall message detailing everything that has happened to help us move on or to help us investigate the issue and find appropriate solutions to it. Then lastly, we have the online complaint form where you can go in anonymously to report an incident. Dr. Gifty, can you please click on the form so that at least we get to see what the form entails?
Sure, I'm doing that right away.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so as the page loads with the form, you get to tell us when the incident happened, who the victim is, and possibly if you know the perpetrator, you let us know. So with the form, let's take it step by step. First, you tell us the type of incidents that happen, if it's a sexual exploitation, abuse, an inappropriate behavior, or something you might not be sure, but you know for sure that something has happened. You take to let us know. Then you tell us who is involved in the incident. Is it an ADO staff member, a volunteer, partner organization representative, a contractor or service provider, a beneficiary or community member? If it's something or someone outside of this, you tell us with the other options there. Then you tell us when the incidents occurred. On this point, I'd like you to know that with safeguarding issues, they should be reported within 24 hours. So if it happened today, don't wait till next week to let us know. Please let us know as soon as you can, within 24 hours. Then you tell us where the incident happened. If you are not so sure of the specific place, you can give a description of where it happens. Then you describe the incidents as much as you can. Give us every information to help us investigate and then put appropriate measures in place. Now you have to also let us know what actions has been taken. So maybe the incident happened and you were able to report to someone or take an action. Please let us know so we are able to take it from there. Also, you need to tell us if there were any witnesses around during the act or when the act was committed or acted. Then you let us know who the victim or affected person is. Is it an ADO staff? Is it a volunteer, a partner, organization rep, a contractor, etc.? So please, the list goes on and on. You fill out everything, give us as much information as you can, and then you submit. Once it gets to us, we would work on it as soon as we receive it. Every incident is treated with urgency and confidentiality to make sure that both parties let's say the incident is thoroughly investigated and then the appropriate things are done. Are we good? Do we understand the three main reporting mechanism ADO has for now? Please let me see your thumb up. If not, I'm happy to explain it again. Okay. Thank you. Now we want to quickly move on to breaking barriers to reporting issues that has to do with safeguarding. I know sometimes when the issues come, we think twice, should I or should I not? So now let's look at some barriers that has to do with reporting. The first one is someone will say, Anna, I am afraid that I or the person I know will lose their job, their status, their reputation, their privileges. And what Anna and Gifty will tell you is, tell us what happened. If the person is not guilty, they won't lose anything. Neither would you. So please, openly let us know what happens so we can act, because you never know. Next time, it could be you, or it could be someone who is closely related to you. And I'm sure you do not want anything bad to happen to you or someone close to you. Good. Then secondly, the next barrier is that I am afraid that people will find out I am the one who reported. Please, all issues reported on safeguarding are kept confidential. This one, you see how I've raised my hand. We are pledging to that. We will not disclose who reported, and we will work on it to the best of our abilities to make sure that your identity is not disclosed. We only focus on the issue to resolve it. Thirdly, someone will say that I do not trust the system. I agree. Most of our systems do not work. But for ADO systems, I bet you can trust us. The systems would work. And I would give you a typical example. Just within this week, I saw Lady Rosa put a message about some comment made by President Trump. I saw it quite late. And she said, oh, the following morning, you are going to release a write-up. So I was like, this woman is late. Oh, is she not sleeping? Just the following morning, I saw the press release out. I'm like, yes, the system is working. So please trust us that with everything you tell us, the system, the procedures, the processes would work to ensure justice or to ensure that the right thing is done. Now, another person would say, I don't understand what or who I am supposed to report to. As I just explained, you can either speak to Gifty, myself, or you use the complaint form, or you send an email to the privacy@africadyslexia.com, and we would gladly work on your complaint for you. Also, someone will say, other people who complained were not believed. So why would they believe me? Please, anyone on any of our programs is trusted. We take what you say or what you tell us seriously. We will not take it lightly. We trust you too, that you wouldn't give us any false information. So please, yes, we will believe any report you give us. We will follow up, we would investigate, do the thorough work, and then give out the response or feedback where necessary. Then lastly, someone would also say, I don't think that reporting will do any good or make a difference. I would assure you that reporting will make a huge difference, not just in the life of the victim, but it will go a long way to protect other victims or other people, yourself and myself inclusive. So please, whenever there is an incident, feel free, go ahead, share the complaint with us, and we would work on it. Now I'm coming back to you. I have shared 6 barriers to reporting. Is there anything you can think of when it comes to reporting? Is there any barrier that I might have missed? Please, you can share in the chat or you raise your hand and share your thoughts with us. Colleagues, I'm waiting to hear from you. Is there any barriers to reporting that you can think of? Something that is outside of what I have shared? Or did I share everything? My people, are you there? Okay. So Oyeronke says stigmatization. Great. As I explained earlier, we won't disclose who reported, the victim, and the people involved. Sometimes our investigations and processes, even if you are the perpetrator, you might not know that you are being investigated. We would work thoroughly so that we make sure we have the right findings, we provide the right possible solutions, and then involve the appropriate authorities. So yes, you can trust us that you reporting the victim and the perpetrator will not be stigmatized in any situation. Raphael says that you shared enough. Okay, Raphael, thank you. All right, so if you are okay, let's try and distinguish between safeguarding and protection. Most of the times, we confuse these two, or we use them as in place of the other. We think safeguarding is the same as protection, but they are not. To explain in the layman's language, I would say that safeguarding is a subset of protection. So as we defined with the earlier slides, safeguarding has to do with specific processes and procedures that an organization puts in place to protect its members, whilst protection has to do with people that are outside the organization. So in our situation, safeguarding is more of ADU putting in measures to protect its members. But with protection, it has to do with people who have no affiliation to ADU. Now let's try and understand the goal of safeguarding and then the goal of protection. With safeguarding, its objective is to do no harm. Whilst with protection, it has to do with reducing the levels of harm or violence within families and then communities. How do we prevent risk? With safeguarding, it is done through the implementation of safeguarding policies and procedures that an organization puts in place. Whereas in the case of protection, it is done through using formal mechanisms. So in some communities, they have civil society organizations, NGOs, who would work on issues that comes up. It could be with sexual related issues. It could be with protection of the community members. So they would have maybe community police in place to protect maybe community members from bad incidences. Now, in the case of safeguarding, the perpetrators are mostly ADO staff or the staff of an organization, representative or operations that work closely with the organizations. Whilst in the case of protection, the perpetrators are mostly community members or family members who have no close link with ADO. Who is the victim in the case of safeguarding? As explained, anyone who has a close connection or link with ADO are mostly the victims. So it could be our participants, or it could be volunteers or advocates for ADO. Then in the place of protection, in the case of protection, the victims are mostly family members and community members who have no relation with ADO. How do we report cases of safeguarding? We do that through our reporting mechanism. That is through our focal points. We do that through our emails, privacy@africadyslexia.com. And then we do that through our complaint form. Whilst in the case of protection, we do that through formal protection mechanisms within the community. So it can vary from community to community. Now, in the case of responding to cases of safeguarding, there is an investigation conducted, disciplinary measures or sanctions are implemented, and then when there are victims involved, we link them to support services that are willing or are providing such assistance to people who find themselves in those places. Whilst in the case of protection, we would have to involve the police and other investigative or health institutions to take those issues up. Now, we'd like to have a quick exercise, and I'm going to mention everybody's name to get involved. Are we ready? Please let me see your thumbs up to know that we are ready for this quick and short exercise. Please don't run away. It's very simple. We will all pass. Good. So for the first one, it says that, okay, let me explain the exercise. We are trying to distinguish between safeguarding and protection. We want to understand that you really get it, or you're able to differentiate between protection and safeguarding. So our first question is, if a volunteer is married, so in this case, a volunteer of ADO gets married to a 14-year-old child, would we consider this situation as a safeguarding issue or a protection issue? Please, you can drop your answer in the chat or you raise your hand and tell us what this is. Sorry. Doka says it's protection. Okay. Any other response? My people, I want to hear from you. Is this a protection or a safeguarding issue? Okay, Oyerunke says it's a safeguarding issue. Oyerunke, can you unmute and tell us why it's a safeguarding issue? Okay, so not to waste time, this is a safeguarding issue because it has to do with the volunteer who is closely linked or has a relationship with ADU. Protection mostly has to do with people who have no relation with ADU. Now let's go to question B. It says that a staff member accepts a social media friendship request from a young program participant. So in this case, we have an ADO staff member who accepts a social media friend request from a participant of ADO's program. Is this a safeguarding or a protection issue? Please share your thoughts. You can also unmute and tell us what you think. Please, we are all learning, so don't be shy. Please share your responses. Okay, so Oyerunke says it's safeguarding. Omobola says it's safeguarding. Yes, it's safeguarding. Omobola, can you tell us why it's safeguarding? Quickly, then we move on to the next one.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
Yes. Yes. I chose it safeguarding because the staff member is a volunteer from AGO.
Okay, great.
The victim is a volunteer from AGO.
Great. Shakira also says it's a safeguarding issue as the ADO volunteer chooses to guide and guard the youth from any issue that might face the youth. Okay. Okay, so this particular incident is a safeguarding issue because both parties are closely linked to ADO. Let's look at the third one, which says community members are stigmatizing a child with disabilities. Is this a safeguarding or a protection issue? Okay, Oyerunke says it's protection. Can you tell us why it's protection? Omobola says it's protection. Please, one of you should unmute and tell us why you are saying this is a protection incident. Arimbo says it's protection. Okay. Yes,
Good
ma'am. Please
evening.
unmute and tell us why it's a protection issue.
Good evening, ma. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening.
Yes, so I feel it's a protection issue because even the case of the child has disability. So child is very vulnerable due to the fact that the child has disability and the community members are stigmatizing the child. So it's a protection issue.
Okay, there's something missing. So with the community members, do they have any relation or connection with ADO?
No, they don't. They don't have relations.
Yes. So that's what distinguishes stigmatization from protection. David, I see your hand up.
These containers.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry to interrupt. Please, can you put your slide on a slide view, okay, so that the writings can be a little bit larger. All right. I've sent you a message, but I think you've not seen it. Yeah.
So sorry.
Thank
so
you very
sorry.
much. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we are better now, right? Okay. Please let's look at the next example that we have in trying to understand the difference between safeguarding and then protection. So the next one says, you hear rumors that one of your affiliates is asking beneficiaries for money in exchange for their names to be included in your organization's activities. Will this fall under safeguarding or it will fall under protection? Okay, I see safeguarding from Oyerunke. Any other? Bridget says it's safeguarding. Bridget, please, can you unmute and tell us why it's a safeguarding issue and not protection? Okay, so this is a safeguarding issue because the affiliate is related to the organization, same for the beneficiary. So the people involved are all connected to the organization. Now, the next question says that a participant reported that she is being bullied and threatened by online trolls after posting a picture of herself. I'll take it again. A participant, so let's say an ADO participant, reports that she's being bullied and threatened by online trolls after posting a picture of herself. Okay, I see protection. Any other? Do we all agree it's protection? Yeah, so okay. Tofunmi says it's safeguarding. Omobola says it's safeguarding. Let's try to understand this. So Tofunmi and Omobola, why are you saying it's safeguarding? And then Oyerunke, why are you saying it's protection? So the picture was posted by herself, not ADU. Omobola, please. Okay. Omobola, please unmute and speak.
Yes, I said it's safeguarding for the fact that the victim herself, she's an ADO staff. So that's why it's an ADO involved victim. So that's why it's safeguarding and not protection.
Okay. But the perpetrators of the bullying, are they related to ADU? I see Oyerunke's hand
Okay,
up. Please.
if they're not related to the ADO, then it's protection. If they are not, but they are not if they're not related to ADO, then
Okay.
it's
Okay.
protection.
Okay. So because she posted the picture herself, and then those bullying her have no link
Not
with ADO, it makes it a protection issue. Are we okay? We have last two to go. So the next one says, a staff member is in the habit of making derogatory comments about children during a tutoring session. So let's say one of us makes derogatory comments about the children that are involved in our tutoring sessions. Will this be a safeguarding or a protection issue? I like the way Oyerunke typed quickly. Oyerunke, why are you saying this is safeguarding?
Okay,
Okay,
because
Bridget also says it's safeguarding. Please, let's hear from you.
okay, I said it's safeguarding because it's a staff member. A member of ADA, staff member, should not be involved in the habit of making derogatory comments.
Awesome. So this is a typical safeguarding issue because it involves a staff member, and then the children are also participating or they are beneficiaries of ADO's programs. Our last test is the name, face, and location of a sexual abuse survivor are included in an online post published on ADO's website. Will this be a protection or a safeguarding incident? Jonah, I haven't heard from you. Raphael, please, let's hear from you. Okay, Bridget says it's safeguarding. Bridget, why is this safeguarding? Oyerunke says it's protection. Okay, so quickly, Bridget and then Oyerunke, please tell us, why is it safeguarding or why is it protection?
Okay. I said it's safeguarding because the victim was posted in the website, the ADO website. That means the victim is involved with ADO, and normally ADO is on the case. So eventually it's something that they have rules that have to safeguard the victim. That's why I thought it's safeguarding.
Great. Oyerunke, why do you say it's protection?
Okay, I thought you said the victim, the person that posted is just an online member.
Oh, okay, no. So in this instance, the details of the survivor was posted or was published by ADO. So we are the perpetrators, making it a safeguarding incident. Is that okay? Great. So now with this little exercise, are we able to distinguish between safeguarding and then protection issues? Please, if it's not clear at this point, please put up your hand so that we try explaining it again for you. Okay, we are all good, right? Now we have the next slide on safeguarding principles that we have to live by as advocates representing ADO. What are some of the principles that we have to live by? And what are some of the principles that we shouldn't live by or we shouldn't do? So with this one, I'm going to leave the talking to everyone. You are going to go around the house. So I'll take it myself. Dr. Roxon will take one. David will take one. Omobola will take one. Everyone on the call will take one so that we can move quickly. Dr. Roxon, are you ready?
I'm here.
Okay, please take the first one for the do's.
Okay, so always conduct safeguarding risk assessment ahead of all program activities, especially events, whether virtual or physical. That's one of the do's.
All right, so I'll take the next one, which says that always include safeguarding key messages in every communication with stakeholders, especially program participants. So the next person will be Bridget. Please take this for me.
Okay. Treat everyone with respect, humanity, and dignity.
Awesome. Omobola.
Okay. Follow the organization's safeguarding policies.
Okay, David.
Remember the safeguarding minimum standards that apply to your role and apply them in your day-to-day activity.
Great. Oyerunke.
Always maintain the 2-adult rule when working with children and vulnerable adults.
Awesome. Now let's look at the don'ts. And then we'll start with Raphael. Raphael, please, are you with us? Okay, whilst we wait for Raphael, Seth, can you please read the next one for us?
Okay, Anna, let me take it.
I'm here. All right.
Okay. Seth, please go ahead. I thought you were not here.
Do not turn a blind eye to physical, emotional, and abuse of program participants, including intimidation and harassment in the workplace.
Awesome. I see my boss here, Madam Lola. Please take the next one for us.
Do not do for children or vulnerable adults what they can do for themselves.
Great. Jonah, please take the next one.
Relationship, sexual or social, with ADO's program participants outside of work is unacceptable.
Great. Shakira.
Okay. Taking pictures, sharing images, and obtaining stories without the informed consent and assent for children is unacceptable.
Great. Tofunke. Tofunmi, sorry.
No sex, money, or favors in exchange for grades, employment, or to be a participant in ADO's program.
Great. The last one I would take is undisclosed office relationships, especially between a manager and a subordinate, are unacceptable. And Dr. Gifty will take the very last one.
Okay, do not post images of program participant pictures on personal social media accounts, even when they say it is okay.
Great. Thank you all. I know it's a lot, but these are some of the do's and don'ts that we have to abide by in our daily routines as advocates for ADU. Maybe the slides will be shared with you. Please, let's take time and look at it again so that our work is easier. We know what to do, and then we know what not to do. Good. Now we look at actors and representations. I know from the start of your programs, a lot have been said about, oh, we do this, we don't do that. But what we want to end our session with today is that as ADO advocates, your actions and inactions, whether it's online or offline, affects you as a person. And it also affects the ADO brand. So we should be very cautious of what we are doing, because in the community, you might think Lady Rosa is not there to see what you're doing, but there are people in the community who are watching. They see what you are doing. So please, let's be mindful in the community, online, anywhere we find ourselves. Let's be good representatives of the brand and of the work that we are doing. And also, we should uphold the values of ADO so that together we achieve the goals and objectives of the organization in supporting children with dyslexia and then also adults who might be at risk. Thank you. I know the long talk has ended. Now we want to hear from you. Do you have any questions, or is there any clarity you would need on any of the things we have discussed this evening? Okay. Silence means consent, right? Please let me see your thumbs up. Let me see your comments so that I can be at peace that we understand what safeguarding is. We know who a child is. We know what abuse is. We know the various forms of abuse. We are able to identify some of the indicators of the forms of abuse. We know how to distinguish between protection and safeguarding, among others. Are we good? All right. I would like to say thank you for your time, for your engagement, and then for your contribution. But before we go, we have a quick assessment for all of us to do. We want to be sure you've understood everything that has happened this evening. It's not difficult. It's very simple. We can all complete it. Even when we have our eyes closed, we can complete this assessment. And please, let's note that completing this assessment forms part of your, should I say, you earning your certificate for this program. So if you do not complete it, you would not receive your certification. If you are able to click on the link, let me share quickly. Or Dr. Gifty, can you share in the chat? You can do it now, or would have
we'll share with the coordinator to put on their platform.
Yes. David will share with you later on to complete it for us. And please, let's do this as soon as we can, because the information is still fresh in our minds. And let's not wait till last minute and you're like, oh, we do not know how to respond to this. Thank you. Gracias for your time, for your engagement. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Madam Anna Mensah. That was a wonderful one. Let's give it up for Madam Anna Mensah. Let me see the emoji. Let me see the emojis. Let's show her some love. I mean, it's wonderful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Madam Anna Mensah. Great. All right. So, wonderful aspirant advocates. If you have any questions, Madam Anna Mensah is still in the background. All right. So, if you have any questions, I mean, if you have anything you want to add up, any thought whilst she was presenting, is there any thought that came to mind, something you want to share, your takeaway, please do well to share with us, all right? So let's do some takeaways, yeah. Let's do some takeaways. Dr. Gifty Roxkin has sent the link in the chat, so please do well to copy that. But then also, if you haven't, it will also be shared in the WhatsApp group, all right? So you can also have access to it and fill that as well. So I just needed two people, one male, one female, all right, to just give us their takeaway from today's session, all right? Just two people, so we can close the curtains, all right? just 2 people. All right, you can raise your hand using the icon, and I'm going to unmute you, and you can just share your takeaway with us. What have you gotten from today's session with Madame Anna Mensah? What is your takeaway? What have you learned? What have you learned? What new thing are you going to try? Let's share our takeaways. I just need 2 people. All right, a male and a female, or it can be all male or female. Fantastic. Just 2 people. So we can just wrap up today's session. Okay. Any volunteer before I mention names? Any any volunteer? Just share with me your takeaway. How was today's session? What have you learned? What have you learned? Okay, what do you think are you going to try? Let's share today. Let's share your takeaway. All right, just your takeaway. It can
Okay,
be a
let me
phrase.
just
It
say
can be.
something.
Right. Please go ahead.
Okay, even though I wasn't present from the beginning, but I came when she was talking about safeguarding and protection. And candidly, I never knew there was a difference between safeguarding and protection. And I've come to realize that safeguarding is actually maybe an organization, the rules that an organization put, while protection is like a global word. So that's something I have really come to learn, and I really appreciate that, because sincerely, I never knew about that. So thank you very much. That's my takeaway for today.
Thank you very much, Madam Bridget Arimbo. Thank you very much. Right. Any other person to give us his or her takeaway? Then we are done. Anyone to share with us? I love that of Madam Bridget Arimbo. This tells us she really was paying attention. Right. Great. The last person, please. Your takeaway. What have you learned? What is that one thing that you want to go and do well? What have you learned? All right, let's share your takeaway, please. The last person. Who is doing that for us? The last person. I understand today is a holiday. I mean, you want to have fun, but hey, two for me.
David, I
Yeah, two for
see
me.
Tofunmi's hand up.
Yeah, two for me. Please go ahead.
Thank
Tufum.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, sure. We can hear you.
Can
Go
you hear
ahead.
me now? Okay.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you
ma'am.
very much, Mara, for the nice presentation. Thank you for the knowledge. It's been a wonderful section, and I was able to, of course, in general knowledge, we all know that all people are being abused. People are there's abuse here and there, emotional abuse, and everything, but you help us to open our eyes to be able to physically see and observe how do you depict when you are with someone, to be much more conscious and um be aware, be able to indicate that, oh, this person could possibly be emotionally abused or be neglected, or and be able to like um out of empathy be able to find solution as to helping the child or wherever it is that you might have felt, oh, and having to ask questions so that you can really be sure that, oh, if this person has really been abused, and find possible solutions. And then you also made us to see that we should not keep quiet if we observe any form of safeguarding issue, and then be able to easily contact HDO, because there are some situations that really, really need attention that nobody's paying attention to. So, and then with all of this knowledge, you've been able to help us to realize that aside from having to advocate and give out the knowledge of dyslexia, and letting people see the differences in learning, there's also more to what we can do as an advocate, and there's more to the job or why we stand to be an advocate, and to be able to make the society a better place for every individual that lives in it, and then be able to strongly make it a positive impact and help children to be able to live life easily, irrespective of how they are on how they've been structured, be it through life disability or being born with a disability, but being able to help every child, every individual live life like they should. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was a wonderful one. And kudos kudos to Bridget for sharing your takeaway with us. So, Madam Anna, we want to say thank you very much for your time and God richly bless you for impacting us. Dr. Roxkin, is there anything you want to add to today's session, Dr. Roxkin?
Okay, thank you so much, David. I think my colleague and sister has done justice to it, and I'm glad that our program participants have really learned something. So as you go, please remember that you are carrying ADO with you, and anything, your actions and inactions can affect yourself and ADO in the end. We are grateful to you that you have taken note in this session, and we pray that you abide by it in your life's journey. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gifty Rossen. On that note, we want to say thank you very much to our facilitators who handled today's session, Dr. Gifty Rossen and Madam Anna Mensah. God richly bless you for helping us this evening or this afternoon, wherever you find yourself. All right, great. So a quick announcement. So this happens to be the last model. And what is going to happen is that now we have 21st to 25th to submit all your projects. Please and please again, just as we said yesterday, it is very important you complete your project in time. All right, just so that we can be able to review it, and then we'll meet again to share the highlights of the project with all of you. So on that note, we want to say thank you very much for making time for today's session. Madam Bridget, Mr. Daniel, Dorcas, Jonah, Omobola, Omotola, Oyerunke, Shakira, and then Tufumi. God richly bless all of you for making time for today's session. I wish all of you happy Eid Mubarak, and I want to say God richly bless you and Allah bless all of you. We wouldn't take much of your time. It's a holiday. Have fun and chill on the right side. With that much I do, I want to say thank you for your time and God richly bless you. We'll meet same time next week. Bye-bye for now. Sorry, don't go yet. Please, the passphrase for today. Yes, the passphrase for today. I nearly forgot. The passphrase for today. What do you think, Madam Roxanne? What do you think should be the passphrase? Madam Dr. Roxanne?
My name is Gipsy.
Madam Gifty Roxanne, what do you think should be the passphrase for today?
So our passphrase would be, your actions and inactions can affect AGO, so hold on to your safeguarding principles.
Right. Your action and inaction can affect
It's long, eh?
ADO.
This is
So hold
too
up to your safeguarding
It's not
principles.
good.
Okay, so hold on to your safeguarding principles. That's it. Hold on to your safeguarding principles.
Let's go with hold on to safeguarding. All right.
Yes.
So hold on to safeguarding. Yeah. So hold on to safeguarding. This is the passphrase for today. Hold on to safeguarding. Continue holding on to safeguarding and always hold on to safeguarding. The passphrase for today is hold on to safeguarding. Hold on to safeguarding. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Roxanne and Madam Anna. And thank you all, ADO family, and God richly bless you. See you same time next week. All right. Bye-bye.